All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, reviewing another product, and then if it doesn't work, I'm just going to show you how I normally do this. But basically we went camping last weekend, my wife and my two daughters, and we have a Sprinter van that's kind of built out a little bit for camping, and I have all-weather mats in the front of it. And they get pretty dirty, right? So, and a lot of times it's kind of hard to get them to look new again. So I'll show you a good process on how to clean them. And then once they're clean, you kind of want to resaturate them a little bit, kind of essentially put a dressing on them. But the problem with that is you don't want them to get too slippery. If they're slippery, then it's dangerous, right, for driving. So I was wandering around Walmart. You can also get this on Amazon, and I found Chemical Guys Matte Renew. It says rubber and vinyl matte renew, floor mat cleaner and protectant. So I like the fact that it says that it is a protectant. So that's the main reason I'm gonna be testing this out, but I'll also try it out on a certain spot. Basically my floor mats are huge, so I'll do half of it with this only. The other half I'll use the cleaner that I normally use, which is super clean. So we'll show you that as well. And we'll compare how clean they get. And then we'll see just how good this is at kind of bringing the life back. We'll see if it makes the rubber mat look any darker or kind of back to factory. If it doesn't work well, then we'll do what I normally do, which is using a water-based dressing, dilute it down, rub it in, and let that dry out. So that way it adds a tiny bit of slickness, so you do want to be careful, but it's really not bad. It doesn't make it super slick or anything, as long as you buff it out. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and check that out. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the shop door right now and open up the van and get those pulled out, so I'll show you guys. There she is. All right guys, so to accomplish this job and get your mats looking the best they can, again, we're gonna be testing out that product from Chemical Guys, but I'll also show you my traditional method. So the first thing you need is a soft bristled, it's usually a wheel brush, but you can see that the bristles are nice and soft. This one's just dirty and kind of built up, but totally fine. You just want to make sure that they're softer and not too stiff, because otherwise you're going to be scratching into the material. All we're using this for is to agitate it and create it to foam, so that it lifts all the dirt and stuff out of the plastic. So you need that. Next, you need Super Clean. I'll pop a picture up of it somewhere here. And then we need some water-based dressing. Again, picture up here. So other than that, we do need, let me grab that. We do need the product that we're gonna be testing out, which is the Chemical Guys Rubber and Vinyl Matte Renew. It says cleans and restores. That restoration part is the part I'm interested in. If I don't have to go with a full-blown dressing, then all the better. So we're gonna test this out side by side and see what happens. All right guys, sorry the lighting might not be the best. Let me try and bump it up a little bit for you. All right, so first things first guys, the number one thing you wanna do is get all the dirt, sand, all that kind of stuff just off of the material, off of the mats, because when you go in and actually add the cleaning product and agitate it, you don't want that to scratch into it. So you want to get this, just all the stuff off of it. First and foremost, you can use obviously you can vacuum it, hit it with the pressure washer or your garden hose, do one of these numbers, get all that stuff off, and that's pretty much it. So I'm actually just going to go with that solution right now. Keep it simple and just wave these things out. All right, so as you can see, they're still pretty dirty. I just knocked off all the loose stuff, but all this stuff's still here in the cracks, and that is sand. So I'm a little nervous about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off real quick, try and get the most of that out as I can, and then we'll get to work on, I'm gonna tape it off down the middle and we'll test my traditional method versus that new Chemical Guys method, or Chemical Guys product, which should be a one-step product versus what I'm gonna do over here is two-step. So yeah, we'll go ahead and test it out. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off and get going. All right guys, so I just gave it a quick rinse to get all that stuff off. You can see there's still, I don't know if you can see actually, but these are definitely still dirty. It's embedded into the vinyl itself. So I did a quick rinse, did a quick dry off, and then air dried this area right here because I'm gonna put some tape down so we can get a good comparison before and after. Both sides are equally, like, there's not really any difference between the two sides. So we'll get a good comparison and figure out which the best solution is. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start on the passenger side, and I'm gonna be using the Chemical Guys Matte Renew. So I'll go ahead and do my full process with this. Again, this is an all-in-one product. It cleans and restores. So we're gonna test it out all in one step, see how it looks. Then I'll go to the other side, clean that with Super Clean, and then coat it with a diluted water-based dressing and compare them side by side. I'm assuming the water-based dressing side obviously is gonna be darker because of the dressing, but I'll tell you my thoughts on this and if it actually did bring any life back to it or if it just cleaned it or whatever. So here we go. All right guys, so right off the bat, pretty big fail. The trigger stopped working. It may just be this one bottle that I got has a faulty trigger to it. There's off, stream, off, and fan. And as you can see, it sprayed like 1 or 2 and then it's done. So that's on spray. We're gonna go to off, maybe try and let it bleed out a little bit. Go to stream. And nothing. So that's terrible. Literally like 2 sprays, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and put this into a different bottle and test it out because I still wanna see if this is a good product. Bottle, so far, at least this one, not so much, but we'll see. All right guys, so I've got a new trigger here. We're gonna use this instead. Really disappointed in the bottle trigger design that it came with. Really, really bad. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. So there's like a rainbow effect in it, a little bit oily looking. So it does make me think that there is some sort of protectant in there. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and agitate it and see what we got. There's the first one. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out my brush so it doesn't contaminate the next test. And I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this off as well. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and dry that off, air dry it and see how it looks. When it's wet, it always looks nice and clean and dark. So just to see the difference between the two sides, see how much of an improvement it made from this side over this side so far. All right guys, so first impressions really quickly, that trigger is terrible. Again, it might have only been mine, it might be a bad one, but that thing was pretty junky. Typically with heavier cleaners, and this thing says it's, if I can find the bottle of it, right here. It says right on there, contents, heavy duty cleaner, rubber protectant. So, you know, but it does say it restores original appearance and feel, protects against cracking and fading. That's the main thing I was concerned about. I actually want to test the product, not the bottle that it comes with. So keep that in mind. Triggers crap, make sure you buy a different bottle just in case. But both sides are pretty much dried up now, and I'm really pleasantly surprised. So I'll flip you guys around and let's take a look. All right, guys, so this is the side that was covered in dirt and everything. I did rinse it off and dry it, and as you can see, all this dirt is still embedded inside, deep into the rubber. And here's the side that I cleaned with the Chemical Guys product. Now this was equally as dirty, equally as had as equal amount of dirt embedded in, and it did an amazing job. It's not overly glossy. It really kind of looks like it just restored it back to original. Feeling it, like it feels great. This feels dry. I don't know if you can maybe hear it. No, you can't hear it, but it feels a little silky. Not slick, but a little silky. So I'm very pleasantly surprised with that. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other side now with Super Clean and my dressing the way I normally do it, and we'll compare the side-by-side results. I'm gonna say that this is gonna have a more natural, out-of-the-box look to it, because it doesn't have any sort of high gloss to it at all. It's just a natural sheen, and the dirt's gone, and it feels like it is protected. So far so good, Chemical Guys. That seems really great. Now, just real quickly, so you guys know my position on Chemical Guys. I think they do make some amazing products. However, I also think that they are extremely good marketers, meaning that I feel like they have just almost too many products in their lineup. I feel like a lot of products that they have cross over, and maybe they just change the color and then change the name, so that instead of just buying a all-purpose cleaner, you're also buying an all-purpose cleaner for plastic, an all-purpose cleaner for tires, and all, you know, and that's a little bit overkill. At least in my professional detailing business, I limit the amount of chemicals that I'm carrying. Otherwise, you're wasting time going back and forth and back and forth. One product can do a lot. So that's my only kind of negative thing that I have to say about Chemical Guys. Other than that, I do love their products. I've used them a lot in the past. Not a lot, but there's a few that I have used that I really liked. Again, some other ones I don't like so much, but there's a couple that I do like. So far, this Matte Renew Cleaner product, I really like. I'm very impressed with how my mat is looking. So again, everything is gonna be linked down for you guys below, including the brushes and everything else that I'm using. But let's go ahead and clean this with Super Clean and then a dressing on the top. And see how that looks. Now I do, again, I like the way this Matte Renew is looking on it, not glossy, not overly slick or anything like that. So if you have super dirty mats, I would probably recommend going Super Clean first and then finishing up with this Matte Renew if you like the way this product looks. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and do my normal method now. Super Clean with a light water-based dressing, and compare them side by side and see what you guys like. Quick guys, the sun just kind of came out a little bit again, so you can see all the dirt still embedded in there versus the Chemical Guys side. Everything's out and it's actually looking super good, super natural, just like it came out of the box. All right guys, so for this side we're using Super Clean foaming. You don't have to use the foaming solution. I like it because it helps, it already is foaming, so it helps to lift things out. At least in my mind it does. You can use regular Super Clean. When I do that, I like to dilute it 50-50 with water. And then, yeah, but so far we're gonna be using the foaming because I like that one a little bit better when I'm working on these mats. So here we go. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this off now, let it dry, and we'll check that out. Alright guys, so really quickly I just did the super clean side and it did a great job. Absolutely great job. All the dirt and everything is out of it. But as you can see, there's just a little bit of white here still, just from the wear and tear of my feet being there all the time when I'm driving. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the product I was telling you about, the water-based dressing diluted down. I'm gonna spray that on there, rub it in, and then buff it out and see what kind of look we get. Now this side is not exactly fair anymore because some of the super clean got over there. So I'll try and divide it up as best as I can, but I'm basically just gonna stop here and here so we have less chance of contamination. So for this part, I'm gonna do the water-based dressing, and then with this one, I'm just gonna rub in the Chemical Guys product and see if it brings it back a little bit, because the super clean definitely dried it out a little bit. I think so far, I'm very, very impressed with the Chemical Guys product, as it is a one-step product, and left everything, hang on, left everything feeling nice and dry, not too slick, and really just natural looking. So, but anyways, we're gonna do both sides. Let you guys see the difference. All right guys, since we're at a spot where we don't need the pressure washer anymore, I brought the mats inside. As you can see, they're both nice and dark now. They're both looking really good. To be perfectly honest, I do think the Chemical Guys side is looking a little better, just barely, but it is a little better to me. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take the products now, apply them to a applicator sponge and apply them that way. And then that way, because that's how I would do the water-based anyway. So we're gonna do that and test them out and see how they look. And see if that's even a usable application for the Chemical Guys product. All right, now again, I'm gonna do this side just to about here with the Chemical Guys. And then we'll do this side we'll leave the middle and compare them both side by side versus a spot that's not coated at all. I do think that my water-based solution is going to be glossier and higher shine, which personally I don't like. I just haven't found a better solution for it. So this stuff may be it. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and just spray it directly onto the sponge. It comes out in a nice purple color. It does smell good. All right, and we'll go ahead and apply it. And again, this isn't the recommended application method on the bottle. The bottle actually says to wet the mat down, spray the product on directly, agitate it, rinse it off, air dry. So this is definitely different, but we're here to play and test the thing out. So let's play and test it out. See what other applications we can get out of it. Alrighty guys, so just in the amount of time that I went to go get the water-based dressing, you can see this is starting to flash out already. I don't know if you can see that super well. Let me try and zoom in a little bit and see if I can get that to show up for you guys. There you go, so right over here, you can see it all flashing out and going back to its original kind of matte finish. Natural finish, really. So anyways, like I said, we're gonna leave that center piece open. I'm gonna do the water base on that side. A little bit overspray, so we'll keep that in mind. Anything right over here, but here we go. Alright guys, so there we are, both applied. As you can see, this side is pretty much completely flashed out now. So we're gonna let this sit for a little bit. I'll come back across and buff it out just so it doesn't leave any slimy residue, because right now it's a little bit slick. So we'll do that and then we'll come back to it. I'll throw these outside and we'll get a good look of it out in the sunlight and see what you guys like better. And it may be a case of, you know, if you're detailing your car and you're doing maintenance work on it, just, you know, your monthly wash or weekly, whatever you like to do, this Chemical Guys product may be the solution because it's so easy to use. You just literally spray it on, agitate, rinse it off. It's cleaned and protected. Now, if you like the glossier look, then you may want to do that every 6 months or something like that. So
because this is basically a 3-step process, right? It's prep, agitate, clean and agitate, dry it off, apply the product, let it sit a little bit, and then come back and buff it off so it's not too slick. So anyways, we're gonna let it sit. I'll come back and buff it off in a minute. All right, guys, so it's been about 5 minutes, and as you can tell already, this side has kind of flashed out as well. It's definitely not as glossy as it was. Really not slick at all, but I like to just buff it out with a towel just in case. All good, feels nice and saturated. This side, saturated, but not quite as much. So, but a little bit slicker. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these outside. I'll grab the camera and show you guys.
Alrighty guys, so we're heading outside now. There's a little bit of noise. One of the buildings across the way is getting some work done, so it's a little bit loud. I apologize, but it's gonna take a look. All right, so here they are.
And as you can see, this side is the super clean and water-based dressing, which again, I'll have linked below for you. You can see the line right there of where I stopped it. And then you have the side that is the Chemical Guys product. And again, looks really great. You can see a slight line there too, where it stopped. Very, very, very slight. But that looks very natural. This side looks very natural as well, higher gloss. This looks brand new versus clean and natural. This side looks more brand new. So yeah, I know it's hard with the shadows here, guys, but there you can see there it's dark in comparison to that, which is clean and looks great, but that side is just dark and beautiful.
So that's it, guys. I hope that video helps you. If you want a good solution on how to clean your rubber mats in your vehicle, I know they get beat up, they get dirty. Everyone thinks it's easier than carpets because the carpets hold all that stuff, but these hold stuff too, and they're hard to get looking like that. So that's your tip, that's your trick. Again, I'm gonna link everything down below. The Super Clean, the water-based dressing that I use, diluted 50-50, typically about 50-50. And then also the new Chemical Guys Mat Renew product. So that is it, guys. Thanks so much. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. We'll see you on the next one.